Dear students, Assalamu alaikum and good day. Today we are going to read about the unit number 6 of Muslims rule in Spain, course code 9129. The topic of today's lecture is about the reign of Abdul Rehman-III from 912 to 961, his rule, his consolidation and expansion. And of course, like in this lecture, you are going to know about his power, politics and strategy in 10th century of Al-Andalus. Let's have the objectives of the unit number 6. So, if we talk about the accession of Abdul Rehman-III, he became the Emir of Cordoba on 16th October 912. It was not easy for him to accede to the throne of his father. His father, who was executed by his grandfather, so he took really hard to be the next caliph of Al-Andalus. He was chosen and educated for leadership by Emir Abdullah, who was his teacher as well as the guide and mentor. He was a multicultural lineage. He knew Frankish, Basque ancestry he had, so he was quite local in that sense. If we talk about the early challenges and strategies he adopted during his reign, then we talk about that he received a very weak central authority, and then the Cordoba's control was very much limited. However, the military resembled the tribal war bands because the previous caliphs, they collected military soldiers from the various warlords. And the strategy he adopted was the gradual and systematic expansion of his throne and of his territory. If we talk about his emphasis, it was on permanent conquest and local stability. The techniques of conquest was very much different and unique in his era. It was sieges with blockade and economic warfare. He adopted the siege engineers like mangonels, and as well as he established permanent siege camps with infrastructure, where we saw that he left trusted lieutenants behind during sieges. So, that is how he consolidated his power. And if we talk about the policy he adopted, it was a carrot and stick policy. His fortresses either garrisoned or demolished. He rewards for surrender and loyalty. He integrated the defeated leaders into Cordoba's administration. That is how he took locals' royalty and loyalty to his throne. If we talk about the example, then we can see the Banu Marwan of Budapest and Hafs bin Hafsun in that sense. If we talk about the technique, he also used the word jihad and religious legitimacy to his rule, to his conquests, and then he led various campaigns in 917, 920, 24, 34 and 939. He framed jihad as to legitimate reason to rule in Andalusia. He was served political as well as religious objectives where he achieved his own goals. On the other hand, he displays publicly of his victory. Even after his conquest, his enemies' heads were shown publicly, and he started reading in mosques as well. If we talk about the change of the nomenclature during his reign, he adopted the caliphate and declared himself a caliph in 1929, that is the commander of the faithful. He strengthened the claims by legitimacy over Al-Andalus, and he tried that military leadership to the religious authority has to be given to the caliph. And that is how he demonstrated power in both north and south campaigns. If you look at his administration and governance, so he adopted two administrative classes. He established two administrative classes, and one was that the Mandarin dynasties, where he was long established and wealthy families were given places in the administration. And then we also saw that the Banu Abi Abda and Banu Hudayr, Banu Shuhada, these kind of the wealthy and strong families, they were into the administration of the caliph. And if we talk about the top civil posts and wazir titles, so he also given these titles to his administrative post holders. And then there are the slave soldiers, Slavak. The title given to them was the Sakaliba. And then we also have that the rose in prominence during his reign was very much high. He filled military and paramilitary roles through these kind of administrative tactics. And then we also see the various families and various tribes were involved in his rule, such as Badr bin Ahmed, Ghalib, and Duri. If we talk about the military elites and challenges he faced during his tenure, then we also see that there was a decline of Syrian junts during his tenure. There was a tension between Arab and Andalusi elite and Saqaliba, as we have already mentioned, that the local, like the tribes and the local families, they were included in the administrative system of his tenure, of his rule. So that is how the Arab Al-Andalusi elite and Saqaliba, they became into the tension during his rule. So if we talk about the, like the challenges he received and the act he responded to these challenges, so executed various of his enemies, including the Umayyad family persons, and then he including the execution of Al-Asl bin Abdullah in 921. On the other hand, he expanded his rule towards the North Africa, and then there was a threat from Fatimid to his rule. The Fatimid from 909 onward posed a new threat to the Western Islam, and in that sense the Umayyad countermeasures came up, and then he tried to expand his rule towards the North Africa. And that is how he improved fortifications. He established coastal bases in Melilla, in Ceuta, and Tangier in various years of his during his rule. And then strategically he got into alliances with the Berber tribes who were living in the North African side, mainly Morocco of today's world. On the other hand, the Umayyad and Fatimid rivalry, it was an old one, but came into limelight during his tenure, and that was basically that the Fatimid, when he took advances towards from Fez, from Sidi Massa and Naqor, and then the Umayyad, their responses while fortifying various cities from where they had the threats of Fatimid. And on the other hand, the defense, diplomacy, and limited military engagement were happened by the Caliph Abdul Rehman-III. And the naval warfare was also started, and then 955 Fatimid attack on Almeria, which was a coastal city of Al-Andalus. And then the Umayyad, they retaliated and got success. However, the Fatimid internal revolts by the Abu Yazids in 945 weakened them against the Caliph. If we talk about his outcomes and legacy, then we also see the pacification and unification of Al-Andalus. We also saw the effective central administration and taxation system, Jibaya. Then we also saw the military administration, modernization, and coastal security during his tenure. There was also, he set foundation for future Umayyad expansion in Morocco as he expanded towards the North Africa. While concluding, so he basically transformed the Umayyad state from different outlook to the different outlook, making it stronger than before. And then he also had the carrot and stick policy in that sense that he was brutal as well as a diplomat. On the other hand, if we talk about the legitimacy, he also used religion and various reforms to get legitimacy amongst the masses. He laid a groundwork for a powerful caliphate rivaling Abbasids and Fatimids. In this unit, we also going to know and read about Al-Hakam, the ruler after him, his accession and political continuity from 961 to 976. He succeeded his father Abdul Rehman-III without dispute. As the Abdul Rehman-III died in 61. He was groomed for rule from early age, active in campaigns since the age of 12. His accession marked by stability, continuity of personal and policy. His court records, especially by Isa al-Razi, he focuses heavily on palace life at Madinatul Zahra, which was established a new city by these Andalus caliphs. His period marked by peace, prosperity, and centralization of power in Cordoba. If we talk about his military leadership and his frontier management, then we also see that the Ghalib and the Christian and Moroccan frontiers were very much secure during his tenure. Ghalib bin Abdul Rahman, the key military leader, he was active on northern and western frontiers, and on the other hand, he defended Upper Douro, rebuilt Medina Theli as strategic military base. He led campaigns against Idrisids in Morocco during 973 and 74, where he seized Hajar al-Nasr. We also saw that he granted wide authority over Middle March lords, reflecting Umayyad decentralization in key zones. He also used military campaigns, military expansion policy, as well as diplomacy to manage his frontier threats. His major policy towards Berber in the North Africa and Moroccan campaigns were quite visible. His relations with Bourbons and Northern Africa was laid by his father. So Al-Hakam faced Idrisid resurgence in Morocco, although heavy cost but limited gains. He recruited Berber tribes, Banu Birzal, Sanata, to strengthen military ranks over there. Then the Berbers in reverse, respected for their martial skill but struggled with court life. He emphasized on diplomacy, patronage, and religious tolerance along various faiths and sects into his court. Muhammad bin Abi Aamer emerged as key intermediary with Berber leaders. At the end, if we talk about his culture, centralization, and legacy, then we came up that he was known for literary patronage, massive book collection, and architecture projects. He expanded the Great Mosque of Cordoba, ornate mihrab, Byzantine mosaics. He continued construction of Madinatul Zahra as cultural and political center. As well as his governance became centralized, Cordoba as axis of power and ceremony. At the end, his isolation of the caliph could create future vulnerabilities, where we saw that for the future to come. So this is what the students, we have the unit 6 of the course Muslims Rule in Spain, course code with 900-129. Thank you so much and good luck.